Hey there. I was thinking about this book that I was reading. It was a couple of months ago. I haven't finished it. I have a habit of starting books, not finish. Actually, I did finish the book, but I bought it again to reread. About the physical copy to reread, and I read a section in it. It's essentially talking about change. As you know, I talk and teach a lot about change. Transformation and growth, and whenever we change, one of the things I think about a lot and talk about is relationship dynamics when we change, right? So when we're in relation to people, whether it is our, friends, parents, spouses, significant others, siblings, co-workers, whoever, right? When we change, it changes when one person in that dynamic changes, it changes the dynamic of the whole relationship, right? And it could be a small change. It could be anything, right? It could be you've lost weight, which is a big one for some. It could be you got a different job. It could be your schedule change. It could be how you think about, raising kids, how you think about something that you both used to think about in the same way, right? And especially if it's something you both thought about or did in the same way, and you come and you make a shift for whatever reason, right? It has nothing to do with them. It's just something that you decided to do. Or life just changed on you. Maybe you didn't have any control. But when I was reading this book, essentially the author said that when you change, any part of who you are, your identity, or, how you move about or think in the world, when you change, it messes with the identity of the other people you're in relationship with. And I had not ever thought of it that way, right? I thought about it was more about how we operate, or how we relate now, right, with whatever this shift is. But me making a change, right, in whatever relationship I'm in, messes with your identity. Back to the point I just made about, if we're friends, let's say, and we both believe that you should put, sugar in your coffee, right, or tea. And now I'm saying, oh, I don't put sugar or coffee in my tea because I believe all of these things about sugar, and thus I don't do it. If I'm not a person who's well aware of who I am and, what I'm doing and what makes me me as the person who's not making the change, then my identity, which is wrapped up in this relationship or this belief we both have, makes me question, right, what is wrong with me, right? Or a lot of times it's like, well, why, it's not that big of a deal. It's just sugar. It's not that big of a deal. It's just this, right? So, sometimes there can be like a defensive-ness or that kind of thing. But I think that's always something to consider. And when you're making a change, like when I used to teach anger management, and, if you're dealing with someone who struggled with anger and everybody kind of, related to them in that way, and usually people didn't want to relate to them, or were walking on eggshells around them, even though they were making a change for the better, it took time, right, for people to really believe you in making that shift, right? Because it could be either way, right? Like you could be shifting from something that's not healthy, to something that's healthy. But if I'm so used to you being an angry, frustrated, overwhelmed, stressed out, mean person, and then now you're not as much, like, well, I don't know what to do, right? I've been walking on eggshells with you for all of these years, or I've been this way with you for all of these years, and so now you're not doing that. I don't really know what I'm supposed to do. Now, people don't normally just say that like out of their mouths, right? They don't express it in that way, but that's generally how it goes. You know, people don't really know like how to get down with that. And so that shift in identity for you is a shift in identity for someone else, for someone else. And that's not your responsibility, right, to try to smooth things over for them or, you know, make them feel any better. It's just the journey of life. Like, life is about growth and change. And, you know, just because maybe you are the person on the other end, like, this person is changing, like, what am I supposed to do? It doesn't make them better than you or worse. It's just, it's different, you know. But figure out what your thing is and what your story is, and respect them for whatever, you know, their shift is, especially if it is something that is helping them, you know, feel whole and really step into the person that they are, and the purpose that they have in life. Because hopefully all change is leading you to hope. That is my hope and belief for people, is that any change that you go through is leading you to the person you've been called to be, right? Whoever God created you to be and what God created you to do. Like, that is what every change should be about, is shifting more towards that, versus the, you know, shifting away from that. So anyway, it's just a thought I had, and just wanted to share that if you are currently going through, you know, some transitions and noticing that, you know, how it is impacting others. Just some food for thought is that it is, again, it's not just you that's changing. It's not just the relationships that's changing, but it may even be changing the people around you. And hopefully it's for the better. All right. Y'all have a good day. Bye.